Insider just completed a 5-month investigation finding that 49 members of Congress and 182 senior congressional staffers have violated the Stock Act, the insider trading law. I'm wondering if you have any reaction to that, and secondly, should members of Congress and their spouses be banned from trading individual stocks while serving in Congress?
No, I don't know to the second one. We are a free market economy. They should be able to participate in that.
Yes, Nancy Pelosi. Everyone's favorite 80-year-old politician raises some interesting points here. Yeah, we live in a free market economy, and everyone should have the right to participate. But you definitely give that right up when you select certain careers, am I right? Watch until the end of the video to see how you could make money from Nancy Pelosi's investment strategy. Nancy Pelosi's trading is back in the news again in June 2022, when her husband purchased up to $2.1 million worth of options. And to be fair, Nancy Pelosi does not usually make these trades. Her husband, Paul Pelosi, a real estate and venture capital investor, is the one putting on these trades. But the Pelosis aren't the only politicians who like to trade. UnusualWhales.com is a website that tracks politicians and insider stock purchases. Based on their analysis of trades from 2021, the U.S. House of Representatives beat the market. They returned an average of 1.1% above the market during the time of their trades. That may not seem like much, but professionally managed funds often fail to outperform the market, so any market outperformance is definitely significant. And that said, 1.1% outperformance is way below historical levels. In contrast, Congress outperformed the overall market by 12% over the period of 1993 to 1998. Returns like those put them on the level of some of the world's best hedge funds. 67% of Americans believe lawmakers should not own stocks. This brings up the point that many people believe politicians trade on insider information. Insider trading speculation has only increased over the last few years because of trades in biotech and pharma companies ahead of the pandemic, or considering bailout packages for companies in their portfolios. One example is David Perdue bought Pfizer in late February while selling off large parts of the rest of his portfolio. He ended up losing his re-election bid for Senate in 2021 and lost the primaries for governor in 2022. Hard to win an election when people think you're making money insider trading from your position. I wonder if he regrets making those trades. Probably not. To counteract this sort of trading, Congress passed the Stock Act in 2012. The goal of the act was to ban insider trading by members of Congress and other government employees. But this act does not bar them from holding individual stocks or options like most financial services workers. Pelosi's trading was influential in the Stock Act. In 2008, Pelosi bought over $200,000 worth of Visa at IPO. At the same time, Congress was deciding a piece of legislation that affected credit card holders. The stock went up $20 a share within a couple of days. Reporters asked Pelosi about her purchase of Visa, and she denied allegations of acting on insider information. This incident caused enough controversy to prompt a special addition to the Stock Act, which banned Congress members, executive officers, and politician staff from investing in IPOs. Political rivals called this section of the act the Pelosi provision. Imagine getting an insider trading bill named after you. You'd be a Wall Street legend. During the pandemic, investing and day trading reached new levels of popularity on social media. We experienced the meme stock craze in 2021, which ultimately resulted in Robinhood halting purchases of GameStop, and cryptocurrencies delivered unimaginable returns, and communities were built around these investing strategies. One community that was built during this time focused on insider trading and politician purchases. TikTok investing influencers following Nancy Pelosi's trade disclosures have become very popular. Under the Stop Trading on Congressional Knowledge Act, congressmen and women must report trades within 45 days of execution. This is how people are able to follow her investment moves. If you search Nancy Pelosi stocks on TikTok, the total views from these videos total over 300 million with hundreds of thousands of likes. Now for the investment strategy. The Pelosis are well known for making large options bets, but their options investments only make up about 4 to 5% of their overall portfolio. The typical options play she makes is buying deep in the money calls. The options she uses are called leaps, which have at least 1 year to expiration. To understand what she's trying to do here, we need a quick refresher on options. All options have Greeks. These are variables that measure the sensitivity of the option's price to some other factor. Leaps have a very slow theta decay. Theta is the sensitivity of an option's price to time. So theta decay is a loss of value for the passage of time. When an option is close to expiration, it will have very low theta and high rates of theta decay. Leaps are more expensive than shorter-term options, but she uses them instead because of the lower theta decay. This means the option loses value slower than a comparable shorter-dated option. In addition, her call options are deep in the money. This means the call strike price is much lower than the current stock price. This impacts another option Greek called delta. Delta is the change in the price of the option for a change in the price of the underlying stock. Buying deep in the money calls will have a delta close to 1, and the delta will get closer to 1 the further in the money you buy the call. A delta of 1 is important because it effectively replicates a normal stock position. If you were to just purchase a share of a stock, your delta will be 1. So, you're telling me she uses options to replicate the stock? Why not just buy the underlying stock? Leverage. Options provide her the ability to trade with leverage. She can buy a call, which replicates the return of 100 shares of the stock, for a fraction of the price of the stock. If we look at June 2024 calls for Apple with a strike price of $100, the premium is $59 and Apple's trading around $149. 149 divided by 59 is about 2.5. This means the effective leverage on a trade like this would be about 2.5 times your money. This is basically what Nancy Pelosi is trying to achieve. One added bonus of using leaps is if the option is held to maturity, it will have been held for more than a year. In the US, this qualifies it for the lower long-term capital gains tax. For their stock and option plays, the Pelosis have a huge growth tilt in their portfolio because they are making concentrated sector bets. Over 56% of their portfolio, both stocks and options, is concentrated in the technology sector. This was the place to be over the last few years as the NASDAQ 100 index, which is heavily tech-weighted, returned over 200% from the pandemic lows to the end of 2021. So the next question is there any way to make money from this knowledge? As we talked about earlier, politicians are required to disclose the details of their trades within 45 days. That may seem like too long a delay to build a strategy around, but Nancy Pelosi is timely with her disclosures. She typically releases her disclosure within 1 to 2 days of the trade. With that kind of turnaround, there may be some alpha to be made. A user on Reddit put together a detailed analysis of congressional trading. The user found that from 2019 to 2021, the congressmen that trade enough to be included in the analysis beat the market on their trades by 6%. The user then adjusted the return data to reflect a disclosure lag. This would simulate if you could read the disclosure and then invest as soon as the information became public. He found that if you made the same trades at the time of the disclosure, your return would have been 5.9% over the same period of time. Not too bad. If your strategy was just to follow Nancy Pelosi, there should be even less tracking difference here because of her quick disclosures. If you can't be bothered to trade like this, but are still interested in politicians trading, there's an ETF released by Digital Markets that now tracks politician purchases with a heavy emphasis on Nancy Pelosi's portfolio. The ETF is called Insider Portfolio and abbreviated INSDR. That said, it may be hard to buy this as it's only listed on a new digital stock exchange. If you're interested in just tracking their trades, a good website for this is capitaltrades.com. If you found this interesting, take a look at this next video from Smart Money.